We know that buying a home could be potentially your biggest transaction that you'll ever make in your life. Whether it's your first, second, third, or fourth property, what separated each experience from being a smooth transaction or a bumpy ride? In this video, I'm gonna give you that secret sauce to experience a smooth home purchase experience. But not only that, we're gonna go in depth as to which areas the lenders they verify in order for them to give you the mortgage loan. Plus, we're gonna explore different type of paperwork that we're gonna need through this process. Last but not least, I'm gonna give you 3 specific tips on what to do while you're doing this. Let's talk about real estate, guys. Let's dive into the different areas that the lenders verify prior to give you the final approval. First step, it's credit. They verify your credit score. Now, credit, it's a double-edged sword. If you have excellent credit, then you have more leverage on the transaction. The terms and conditions are gonna be better. If you have bad credit, you're not gonna have good terms and conditions. So make sure that you take care of your credit. The second step that the bank are gonna verify, it's, guess what? Your income. The higher the income, the more acquisition power you have. The less income you have, the less acquisition power you have. Again, they also verify not only how much money you earn in a yearly basis, but they also verify how stable your income is. Whether you've been working for the same company for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whether you're changing jobs or not. So it is a risk factor from changing from one job to another, from one industry to another. So make sure that you keep it constant. Another verification that they perform is they verify your assets or savings. Now, assets and income, they dictate the acquisition power. Let's say you don't have a strong income, but you have a strong assets. You could put potentially 50% down to cover your lack of income, then you have a transaction. So make sure that in the asset department or savings, the stronger you are, the better the chances are for the bank to give you a loan. Let's say you have but 3% or 5% down, we can still work with it. They're gonna ask you for how much money you could potentially earn. That's when, let's say if you have not so much income, not so much assets, then they're gonna ask you to acquire a co-borrower. So assets and income, they go hand in hand in terms of the acquisition power that you could potentially get in the transaction. Last but not least, the banks, they analyze the type of home that you're looking to purchase, whether it's a condo, a townhome, a single family home, or a multifamily. So make sure that you are very clear as to what type of property you're looking to purchase, because your loan officer could put you into a specific loan program that allows townhomes, single family homes, but not so much a multifamily or not so much a condominium. Each different property has its own regulations based on the type of loan that you're applying for. So these 4 areas, the lender, they verify, they triple verify prior to give you the mortgage loan, or like they say, before you're clear to close. Now let's talk about paperwork. What kind of paperwork you need to prepare in order for you to buy your home? First, they're gonna ask for your ID. They want to make sure that you are who you are, right? Second, your social security or tax ID. So social security card or tax ID card if you're a foreign national. So ID, social security. They're also gonna ask for your pay stubs, the last 4 pay stubs typically. Then your last 2-month bank statements. Now, let's say you're self-employed and you don't have pay stubs, then they're gonna ask you for a profit and loss report for that fiscal year of your business. Then they're gonna ask you for the last 2 years taxes with W-2s if you are a W-2 employee. Also, they're gonna ask you, let's say you have a home already and you want to buy a different property or a second home. They're gonna ask you for specifically the mortgage statement for that current property. So depending upon your case, depending upon your situation, that's gonna be the documentations required to the transaction. So just make sure you communicate to your loan officer thoroughly as to what your goals are in this transaction, and if you're planning on changing jobs, right? So that leaves us to the tips. And here are my 3 biggest tips during buying a home, during this process. Tip number 1, make sure to maintain your job. Don't change. If you could, please don't change. If you have to change your job position, please talk to your loan officer about it. Because if your income right now it's $50,000 and you're gonna go earning $100,000, the bank is gonna ask why. You went through a training, you got a certificate or a diploma. You have to provide that because it needs to justify that 100% or that increase of pay, right? Tip number 2, please, I cannot stress it enough. Make sure to not acquire new debt. Don't buy a car in the middle of the transaction because that's gonna impact your DTI or your debt to income ratio. Tip number 3, make sure if you were to deposit money into your saving account, you can prove where the money came from. You need to source the funds where they came from. Let's say you're withdrawing money from your retirement account for 401k, for your individual retirement account, your IRA. You know where the money is coming from. It's a check, you deposit it, you can prove based on the quarterly statements or based the pay stubs or specifically the stuff that they provide you. So you deposit it, you can easily explain where the money came from. But what if uncle gives you $10,000 in cash? How can we prove that that money came from your uncle? It's cash. So make sure that if you were to deposit money, you can prove where the money came from. And there you have it. That's the secret sauce for you to experience a smooth transaction while buying a home. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate. Feel free to contact me and I'll be more than happy to assist you. See you next video.